Hey there YouTube, this is SJM4306 and I'm back with another video on my NES Classic project that I've been working on, which is essentially just a Raspberry Pi running Retropie. I've already talked about this before, that's not the important part. Anyway, sorry about the handheld shakiness. Ooh. Anyway, I kind of need to switch between showing you the screen and showing you this guy. So I found a bug in the power management pick that I programmed in order to control the power LED and read the power switch button and properly shut the Linux system down. I found a bug in it where if you shut it down only by the front panel button, it works perfectly. However, if you go through the menu using the actual controller and shut it down through software, it wouldn't detect that and the light would stay on even though the system was off. So obviously that's a pretty big oversight. So this is revision 2 of the firmware for this chip. And I did a little breadboard job there to solder it in. Anyway, I can show you guys, and another fix that I made is it holds it in reset. Before, as soon as you plug it in, even if you didn't touch the power button, it would automatically turn on and then you'd have to turn it off again. It was kind of annoying. So now it just holds it in reset when you first power it on. So the power button flashes for a second, and then it turns back off, and the Raspberry Pi, both status LEDs are lit, but it's held in reset. So it's not able to start until you press the power button. I don't have this glued in yet, but yeah, you can see power button came on, and it's booting up now. And I'll get back to you guys once it's fully booted. Okay, we're back in, fully booted. My controller is synced. I did the software fix for the LED. You can see that I have control over this. So now if I just go through and shut off manually using the button, you can see it flashes, the screen goes off, and after a while this will shut off. And it fully shut down now. So now it's in standby mode, so I can turn it back on, get back to the menu, I won't bore you with that, and then show you it shutting down via the software method. So I'll just have this reboot now. I gotta glue this button down. There. So I'll be back after it's fully booted again. Okay, so we're back in. Power light's still on, everything's still good. So let me go through the soft menu using the actual controller itself. So here, let me wake that up. So let's just go in, go to quit, go to shutdown system. It'll ask us okay, and it won't do the turn off blinking light animation because it hasn't detected that this switch has been pushed. There's not an easy way for me to push that through one of the I/O. So I just figured it's fine enough as long as it turns off when it shows that the Pi is off itself. So there, it works finally both ways. You can turn it off via the front push buttons or via the wireless controller. No ifs, ands, or buts. So that was the major issue that, well, it wasn't really that big of an issue, but it annoyed me enough for me to spend like 15 minutes fixing it. So anyway, other fixes that I have, I got another one of these wireless dongles, an official one actually, that had the fuse blown for really cheap. It was like $4 or something like that shipped. So I got one of those. I fixed it. It already works. Actually, it is right here. So this guy right here. So this guy works, is all fixed, it's legitimate. So what I'm going to do is, because that can be just a bare board, I'm going to put some insulating material and glue that about here. So it'll have internal Xbox wireless control. I might try getting my DualShock 3 working because I actually like the D-pad more on that. But at least I'll have an option of whether I want to use the DualShock 3 or not. I have these open front USB ports anyway, so I can always plug in a second controller or third, whatever. So yeah, I was working on adding power input, so I didn't have to use this mini jack. I just have a micro jack. I have a mini USB plug right here. Currently, it works with the caveat that I think the plug that I'm using is kind of too low of a rating. So, yeah, I'm having issues with. Let me just shut that off. Issues with power consumption and draw through that jack. So I don't know, I might figure out. But I basically just wired directly to the inputs before the fuse, of course, for protection. So I can just put 5 volts on there and the Pi will boot up happily. Yeah, I've got horrible soldering job on the LED here. I need to fix that cold joint. I kind of burnt myself while I was doing that. Anyway, I wired the buttons. I haven't glued any of this in, so I need to dig out a hot glue gun or something like that and hot glue all this in so that, you know, it doesn't move all over the place. Other than that, I think that's all the modifications I've made between my last video and now. The software is pretty much all done. Power management now, I can give it the Sean approval of thumbs up now that it actually works the way that I ideally wanted it to. So now it's just moving on to buttoning this up, figuring out something on power input, because the file that I have for the 3D printed case, I did not design this myself. I found it on Thingiverse. They actually had a AC/DC converter, just a power brick that they took apart, put in there, and then had an AC input lead. But I'd like to have some sort of USB input so I can actually use battery packs like this to power it. So unfortunately that means I need to rewire this jack because there's a big honking piece of plastic in the way when the board is fully seated. So I need to figure that out, relocating that. Probably going to need to get a better jack other than this old dinky one. 2 wires coming off of it. Anyway, there's that, and then the composite AV cord. Right now there's plastic in the way. So I either drill a hole and make some sort of plastic wall because this is recessed into the body a little bit, so I can kind of, you know, have it look nice from the back and still be accessible, or just desolder this jack, drill a hole the right size, and hot glue, hot snot it in place, which is probably the easier of the two. But yeah, I'll figure that out. If I only have HDMI out, I'm not going to cry. After all, what this is supposed to be the clone of the NES Mini only has HDMI out anyway, so it's not that big of an issue. Yeah, as for everything else, this is coming along. Not sure. I don't want to get caught in feature creep and never finish this project because I always keep adding more and more features on, and I'm already busy enough as it is with my schoolwork and whatnot. So yeah, I'm probably just going to finish this up, not too much more, just get it to a workable state so I can actually use it, and that's it for now. So hopefully I'll be able to finish this up, you know, in my spare time in, you know, the next few weeks. Not too much more since I got all the paint and everything done. Just pretty much, you know, what I described, the few things I described. Anyway, yeah, pretty happy that it all works. It's pretty neat, I gotta say. This is Model A+, so not that much RAM, only 256 meg, and the processor's meh. It's I think I overclocked it to 900 megahertz. Gets a little toasty, put a little tiny heatsink on there, might put a fan in, who knows. But yeah, I would like to get my hands on the Raspberry Pi 3 and give that a play around, since that can do N64 and PS1 emulation as well as PSP emulation. That would be awesome. So hopefully next time I go to Micro Center, they have them for pretty cheap actually. I think like 35 bucks or something. So I might pick one up to give a play around with, since that'll be considerably more powerful than this guy. The good thing about this is the mounting points for this and the 3 Plus Raspberry Pi 3 and this A Plus are the same. The 3 just sticks out a bit more, and it has built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, so that'll actually be more convenient. So if that happens and I get one of those, this will be trivial to fix, pretty much, to modify to make it fit. Yeah, and I put everything on socketed headers so I can easily remove it. So if I want to upgrade the board, it's easy to do. I'd only really have to solder this one white wire. That's for the reset line. Anywho, I've rambled on for about 10 minutes, so if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. I have to clean up and comment some of my software since it really only makes sense to me and aliens, so once I get that done, I can upload that for you guys if you guys are interested in this. Yeah, I can make this open source, not really that hard. It's an 8-pin chip with just like a handful of wires connecting it. But the thing is, you need to configure the GPIO for it to work properly with the chip. So it's not as simple as just make the circuit and plug it in and it works. There is some software to it as well. If I get some time, hopefully I can actually type up kind of a tutorial in case other people are interested in doing something like this using my software and my chip wiring. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.